we doing? I know we're tired, right? Just want to get that energy going. Awesome. Well, my name is Chasity, and I'm so excited to talk to you guys about African American hair today. Something we don't get a chance to dive into often, of course. So the first question I would like to ask is, what do you know about African American hair? You can raise your hand and share. It's a safe space. Yes. Oh, you. It's nappy. It's nappy. We're gonna talk about that idea later. What else? What else do you know about African American hair? Anybody can answer?
It's diverse.
It's diverse?
All different kinds.
All different kinds. What else? Yes.
They have shrinkage.
Have shrinkage, yes. Does anybody know what shrinkage is? Yes.
It's like when you're able to differently, but like, yeah, but like it comes up, but like when you pull it down, it's all.
Yeah, so shrinkage, especially when your hair basically shrinks to a smaller size, even though it may be of different length than what it is. And a variety of countries can have shrinkage depending on your curl and how tight the curl is. For example, I have shrinkage here. If I was to pull it, it would extend this far. Curls in front. Right in there. All right. Shrinkage is different for everyone. All right. So African American hair and studies go back as far as 3500 BC. So for all of us, it has been around. It has been a thing live as well. It was very popular, especially with West Africa. You have different tribes with different hair textures and different patterns that they would use to signify who they were. It also held different meanings and spiritual powers. Does anybody know what that means when I said held different meanings and powers? Or you want to take a crack at it? No wrong answers. We're here to learn. Alright, I'll tell you. So when I say that the hair had different meanings and it had different powers, I first want to hit on meanings. So different meanings, it can mean, hey, if I had braids going to the right, I was part of this tribe. If I didn't do my hair for a certain amount of time, it was probably because there was a death in the family. And that's how it was for specifically African culture. If anything happened in the family as far as a death, then they would not do their hair for a while to show mourning. Or they would have certain beads or certain designs styled in their hair to connect to their ancestry. In the 1900s, they went through a great oppression era where we started doing hair assimilation. Does anybody know what assimilation means? Assimilation? Not assimilation, assimilation.
We don't know big words like that.
I'm sure y'all do. And when I talk about assimilation, I mean blending in. And so it went from having the full braids, the natural afro, all of the Bantu knots and twists, to straightening our hair. And it was a long period, and we had people like C.J. Walker, we had products, and we had the flat irons, trying to blend hair, conform hair into European styles, because unfortunately, through like colonization and things like that, that was the case. There was a lot of like straight waves, there's a lot of little curls and bumps, a lot of those hairstyles to achieve the typical European look. And then in the 1960s, the Afro was born as a symbol of the civil rights movement, justice, unity, and power for the Black community. All right. So what stereotypes have we heard about African American hair? I know we've heard a lot. Does anyone want to share some that they've heard?
Wait, is that an afro?
Yes, it is. A beautiful afro.
Well,
Anybody heard any stereotypes? A stereotype is an idea or a thought you have about someone based off their race, religion, or identity that is not typically true. just a generalization. So for example, if I say like, you know, all black people like chicken. Like, no, not all black people like chicken. I like it, but like there's some that don't. Any stereotypes on hair? Alright, so I want to go back to your point where you said black people hair is nappy. We're going to get to that. The first one is black people cannot grow long hair. How many people have heard of that one? Black people can't grow long hair. No, it's cool. Like there's a few of you who have heard of it, some don't. That is a stereotype. Black people can grow long hair. So that hair growth is not depending on, you know, certain oils and things like that. It's really mostly genetics. And so just because your hair stops right here, it may just mean that that's just what genetics has set up for you. Like your hair will stop probably to your shoulder length. For some, it's going you're gonna account to black people who have hair down to their knees. I have a friend who her hair extends all the way past her waist. You're gonna account to black people who have hair stop at their shoulders. You're gonna have black people with different types of hair, and it doesn't mean that they can't grow their hair long. How about black people always wear weave? Who's heard of that stereotype? Alright, newsflash, that is not always the case. When you see a person of color with a different type of hairstyle, the first assumption shouldn't be, oh, it's weave. Black people have different hairstyles, and so it's important that we don't police black people hair. You may see them come one day with long braids, and it actually may be their real hair, but it may not. That was also a common thing, to add in different hair or to add in different hair pieces or different fabrics to extend hair. Alright, black people don't have good hair, and if it is, it's probably because they're mixed. How many people have heard that one? You have to be mixed to have good hair. Yeah. Everyone has good hair. Just because you're not mixed doesn't mean that you do not have good hair. We have different hair textures. You can be black, and I believe they would consider this 4A. You can be black with a looser curl texture. A lot of African Americans in islands will have a looser hair texture. Some will have a thicker hair texture. It all just depends. But you all have good hair. Alright, black people only have black colored hair. How many people have heard that one? Yeah, that's a new one. So black people can have different colored hair. You may not see it as common here in the US, but black people can have ginger colored hair. Black people can have blonde hair. Black people can have brown hair. You're not gonna see it coming here, but I'm pretty sure if you were to go to Africa, you'll see a little bit more of that because it depends on the area that they're from and how distinct they are. Black people and hair washing. What do you guys know about that? Alright, so growing up, I typically would wash my hair, I would say 2 times a month, not often, because for my hair texture, it would just pull it out and make the hair fall out and all sorts of things. Keep it extra tangled. Actually, we can wash our hair, you know, every 7 to 10 days, once a week, more often. It really just depends on your hair, though. But you're not going to see a lot of African Americans wash their hair too often just because of the texture and what it requires, which is different than finer hair. Black people have messy or nappy hair. How many of us heard that stereotype? Alright. Yeah. Also another stereotype. We all have days, of course, where we get up, we have that bedhead hair. I'll be honest, I got my bedhead hair because I was like, oh man, like woke up definitely way before my alarm. But that is not the case at all. It may be tangled, yes, but it's not nappy, it's not messy, it's not horrible. It's all about maintenance and just care. Black people hair and swimming. How many people have heard that black people don't swim because of their hair? You heard that black people don't swim because, yeah? Alright, I will honestly say that is not always the case. I will say there was one time in school I did not do swimming because of my hair, but other than that, no, it's probably because a black person or a lot of people have fear of water. or they just don't want to have their hair submerged. Because, you know, as much as we love swimming, the reality is it's fish in there, other people's bodies are in there. And so, yes, a lot of us actually can swim, and we do not mind getting our hair wet. Other cultures cannot do black hair. How many of you guys have heard that one?
Like braided?
Yeah, like, oh, like, I don't think this white woman can do my hair, or this Hispanic woman, like, they can't do black hair. All right, believe it or not, there are some that actually can. And that's why I really encourage you guys, if you're going into hair care, especially as someone like not of color, to really learn how to do people's hair of texture. That's important. I'm originally from Illinois, and so it's a little bit easier access to have, you know, other black women doing my hair. My neighbor would do my hair, but as I transitioned to Iowa, that got a little hard. So I do have, you know, one person that I go to of color that will do my hair, but believe it or not, the woman who did my hair color that you see right now is actually white. She's amazing, she's a sponsor, I go to her all the time, and she works with the curls. So, if you're going into esthetician stuff, cosmetology, stuff like that, learn about other colors, textures. And then just to remind you, if you haven't heard of the Crown Act, has anybody heard of the Crown Act? Yeah, so the Crown Act of June 15th on 2023, they made a rule that established, that prohibits discrimination based on hair texture. So if I walk into a job with my nice little fro, they can't deny me a job because of my hair texture or the way it looks. And then you can't see on the screen, but I'm gonna come around. There's a whole bunch of different queens you can see that I've had the opportunity to meet and compete with. They all compete in different hairstyles and curls. Former Miss Iowas, of course. Pass that around here, so you can pass that down. Yep. There's a couple of people that compete. You can see different hair. She has curls, she has her straight, she have a looser texture. Miss Maryland in the top corner is Hispanic and Black, Afro-Latina. Ellie Burrow, Miss Texas, is Black and white. Miss Alabama is Black. All different hair, all different textures. I'm gonna pass this down through there. You'll encounter a lot of different black hair textures. Black hairstyles. What are some hairstyles that you guys have seen? Yeah. Braids and waves, yes. What else? Cornrows. Oh.
Kiki's hair.
Kiki's hair. Alright. Kiki's hair. Has anybody ever heard of micro braids?
Yes, they like really small.
I've seen micros in a long time. We got locks, bantu knots, twist outs. Any other hairstyles? We got the fades. How about products? Does anybody want to share some of the products that they use? Any hair products? Brush, do-rag, brush, detangling comb, detangler, eco gel. You saw that? Laying the edges, yes. She has edges. The last thing I want to share with you guys today is to pretty much first off, love your hair. Everybody has different hair textures. Everybody has different backgrounds that can contribute to that. Everybody has different processes to manage your hair. You may have thick hair, you may have thin hair, you may be somewhere in between. You may have a tight curl, you may have a loose curl. You may not have a curl, but it's maintenance and you love your hair because it's a part of you and it makes you unique. Second thing, embrace your hair. So when you step out, don't feel the need to, oh, I have to make this adjustment because this is what society says. What do you say about your hair? And don't be afraid to, try something new if you want, as far as like, oh, if you want to add color. Like, as you see, I have color in my hair. Yes, African Americans can have different colors. If you have pink over here, we have red. That diet, yes. Yes. It looked like ramen at first, but eventually, like, evened out. It's crazy. Also, don't touch the hair. So, people are not pets. Go home, pet your Australian Shepherd. I have one. Pet your teddy bear. We're not tapping people's hair.